Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Raising big money and getting national attention, Montana Governor Steve Bullock making a mark on his run for president.
Well, today, Governor Bullock's campaign announcing that Bullock has already raised $1 million in the first 24 hours of his run for president.
His campaign also announcing that money comes from all 50 states.
Governor Bullock, Montana's first ever mainstream party presidential candidate, sat down with CBS's Ed O'Keefe and Helena to talk about his campaign and where it all started.
I'm the only one that actually won in a Trump state. I was on the ballot when Trump got elected. He took Montana by 20. I won by 4.
Montana Governor Steve Bullock says his ability to reach across the aisle sets him apart from his Democratic opponents.
I've also been able to really bridge divides here. I mean, my legislature's always been at least 60% Republican.
In a field of 23 contenders, it'll be an uphill battle for Bullock to break through. In order to qualify for the first Democratic presidential debate just over a month away, he'll have to register at least 1% support in 3 separate polls, or find 65,000 unique campaign donors across at least 20 states. Bullock says he wants to defeat President Trump to make sure every American has a fair shot at being successful. Do you think President Trump is a good role model?
No, I don't.
Why not?
The way that he conducts in the office and divides people, how he belittles people. That's not the example that you want out of a president. I mean, when we're expecting more of our preschoolers at times than a president, that's not the role model that I think most families want for their kids.
A majority of Democrats support impeaching the president. A majority of Americans don't. Do you support him? Do you support impeaching President Trump?
I support Congress doing full investigations, as they should. That's their job. I mean, people are more worried about, am I going to be able to afford college? Is my kid going to get sick?
Bullock is also the former Montana Attorney General and says tackling campaign finance reform is one of his signature issues. He also wants universal background checks for gun purchases and to address climate change. The governor told us China is a major economic threat, but that new tariffs are hurting Americans. Tariffs have hit your state pretty hard, especially the wheat farmers, I know. And there have been millions given to them in relief. But is that the way to combat China?
A payment from the Department of Agriculture isn't going to make up for the market's loss. This will be long-term injury along the way for our producers, not just here, but all across this country.
Who's our greatest global foe?
I think our greatest global foe potentially is ourselves if we continue to have the level of divisiveness we have.
Really?
Yeah. When the rest of the world sees that Congress and the president can't agree, or the divisiveness that we've seen on every single potential, either military action or other.
So potentially we are our own worst enemy.
Well, I think we can be.
And Bullock will have even more competition as another Democrat is jumping into the already packed race to take on President Trump in 2020.
CNN has confirmed New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio will declare his bid tomorrow.
Well, President Trump raised trade tariffs from 10% to 25% last week after Washington and China failed to reach a trade deal. The only active farmer in the Senate, Montana's Jon Tester, also appeared on national television today, saying farmers across the nation are getting hammered by low prices and that the trade war is making the situation worse.
Family farm agriculture is in trouble. The farm gate prices are terrible. The bankers will tell you that we've got a serious disaster on the horizon. And quite frankly, some of these farms have been in the family for generations. And this is a man-made problem. And in a state like Montana, where we need those export markets, both domestically and foreign, to be able to get prices at the farm, this has just been a killer.
Lawmakers are now considering a package of fresh bailout funds for farmers, something the Democratic senator called a form of socialism.
Well, trade tensions between the U.S. and East Asian countries could also impact Montana builders and buyers. The new tariffs will likely have an effect on home construction. The Southwest Montana Building Industry Association says it expects anything imported by China, including most appliances, things like nails and hardware and other odds and ends, will also see a substantial hike. Now, the tariffs already forcing contractors across the country to add in escalation clauses for projects set to start in 2020. It's unknown how high prices might go up, so experts say Montana contractors need to be ready.
We just saw a fairly substantial increase in city impact fees to the tune of $2,500 or $3,000 a house for a 2,000 square foot starter home. It might be in that same ballpark. We're looking at similar increases in Belgrade, and so we all just have to accommodate those.
Now, this isn't the first time the industry has seen import taxes go up. President Trump signed a similar order in 2018, which increased the cost of imported steel and aluminum.
It's an issue facing the state of Montana and the country as a whole, missing and murdered Indigenous women.
And that is one of the topics of conversation at the Montana Native Women's Coalition Conference. That's happening today and tomorrow right here in Billings. Q2's Samantha Sullivan is standing by with more on that. Sammy.
Well, Russ and Jeanelle, folks from all over the area, including victims advocates, law enforcement, teachers, medical providers, and members of the community attending the conference today, speaking about issues like human trafficking, domestic violence, and trauma-informed care, also the growing problem of missing and murdered Indigenous people.
There's been a lot of growing publicity and awareness, I think, with the public that involves issues around murdered and missing Indigenous people, women, men, girls, and boys. And that is a very, very important thing for the public to know. So our conference is dedicated to them this year, and tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to have a number of presentations that are related to that issue.
Now, anyone from the community is welcome to attend the final day of that conference tomorrow. It is free to the public, so you just have to show up and register at the door. Things do kick off again tomorrow morning at the Red Lion Hotel. It starts at 8:30, and that will run throughout the day. Jeanelle.
All right, thanks so much, Sammy. A Bridger man who lost his life when his kitchen went up in smoke and flames Monday is now identified. Carbon County Sheriff Josh McQuillan says 67-year-old David Dyer was found unresponsive inside his home just minutes after he called 911 to report the fire. The initial investigation indicates the fire was accidental.
A black bear was hunted near Laurel today after being spotted in a tree this morning. Yellowstone County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of the bear around 7 this morning near the Pheasant Brook subdivision. The bear ran north near 80th Street West. A Fish, Wildlife and Parks game warden came out and determined it was a black bear and could be left alone, but later a hunter with a permit harvested the bear. The bear is estimated to have been around 3 years old and weighed around 100 to 120 pounds.
The hunting season for black bears is open right now. It opened April 15th and it doesn't close until the end of the month. And in that area, there isn't a quota for bears or anything, so it was perfectly legal for somebody to go hunt that bear.
Gibson says at this time of year it's important to not leave things out that may attract bears. He suggests not putting garbage out until the day it's going to be picked up, not leaving barbecues out after cooking, and not leaving pet food too close to the home.
On the weather scene, Q2 Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire says we are moving from summer to substantial rain and maybe even, I can't believe I'm saying this, snow.
No.
Wait till you see this. It's on the computer models. Let me show you what's happening. Here we go. There's a extended forecast that starts off tonight, 6 p.m. You can see the rain showers moving in from the southwest, and basically that's what's happening out there right now. So this part, it's right on the money. Now you'll notice by tomorrow morning, more scattered rain showers, and then by the time Thursday night gets here, the heavier rain starts moving into south central Montana, including Billings. Then after that, we're still looking at rain showers on Friday, then on Saturday, and then take a look, Sunday morning. That is all snow, folks, all through south central Montana. Now, I don't think it's going to stick on the ground, but you might see it in your windshield and stuff like that. And then you'll continue to see that stuff kind of produce some more scattered rain showers the rest of the weekend. How much precip we going to get? Almost 2 inches for the Billings area, maybe 2.5 over in Livingston. Plus, one other thing, we have a flood watch for the Shields and the Muscle Shell Rivers beginning tomorrow night and going into Saturday because of all the new rain we're getting. We'll have more of that in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Well, coming up on tonight's 5:30 News, we are heading over to Helena, where it was a day to honor those who protect our communities every day.
And in sports tonight, we sit down with Bill Lepley, the Shepherd girls basketball coach, calling it a career after more than 3 decades.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger, Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire, and sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.